That's fantastic. Thanks for joining us today, everybody. So we're going to hand over to Kate. She's in the wilds of Canada over there. Probably a little bit cooler than what we're facing in Victoria at the moment. It's a nice warm day certainly in Melbourne, and I'm sure it is wherever you are placed in Victoria as well. So we'll hand over to Kate, and we'll ask you to mute your microphones if you haven't already done that. And I'm sure there'll be an opportunity for questions at the end. So hand over to Kate and tell us where she's at, what she's doing, and how things are progressing. So thanks, Kate.
Thank you.
Just before you start, Kate, around the low 30s, high 20s to low 30s today across the state.
I see. So I have to cope with quite a lot of difference. I think it's about minus 15 here today. It was about yesterday too. It got down to about minus 20, or I mean, I'm in someone's house at the moment, so it's not that bad. I don't have to stay out all the time. The big difference is when I'm on expedition, then we'll be out in it all day long, and out exposed to the weather and the wind and the cold. So right now I'm a little bit more cozy. I'm at my guide's house, which is in Whitehorse. Whitehorse is the capital of the state of Yukon. So I guess the best thing to do was trace back to sort of this time last week-ish when I gave a presentation, and quite a lot's happened since then for me to actually get here to Whitehorse on the other side of the world. So it's all about, it was crazy actually, just all of the preparations that I had to do, writing lists and more lists and more lists of all the different things, from all the clothes I need, all the bike spares I need, just the logistics of getting a bike sent from where it was made in Philadelphia to here in Yukon was pretty crazy and quite stressful, that it wasn't going to get here on time and finished on time, let alone get here on time. I left Melbourne at 9 o'clock on Wednesday morning, and I arrived after 25 hours. I arrived here in Yukon, in Whitehorse. Getting to Vancouver, it was actually 6:30 in the morning. So actually, I arrived before I left, if that makes sense, because we had to cross the international date line, and after flying up to Brisbane for 3 hours, spending 2 hours there, and then flying another 13 hours across the Pacific, and it was 6:30 in the morning, and I left at 9. So it's a pretty weird thing. And then we flew up to Whitehorse. And Whitehorse it's a town of about 25 or 30,000 people, and that's the whole population of Yukon, the state of Yukon, is something like 35,000 or something like that. So there are not many people around. So once we leave here, there's not a lot of habitation, but we're taking our time here, making sure everything's really properly set up. The bike arrived as I did, so we picked it up near the airport, brought it home here, and then I looked at it and thought, gee, there are a couple of parts missing. But actually, we found them in the end. There's a little bit of panic stations. And then today I actually took it down to the bike shop here, which made it much, much easier. So I took it down there. And of course, they've never seen anything like a bike like this, but they're very good at dealing with these kind of conditions. So it was really good for me to go down there and learn from the guys in the bike shop, and which kind of lubricants, for example, to use on the bike, because obviously if you use the wrong type of lubricant, the kind that you'd use in Australia, then actually it can all freeze up. And so the hub in the middle of the wheels with all the bearings in, if that's got the wrong stuff in, that would just stop working. So it'd be no good getting up to the Arctic and having things not working at all. So there's lots of things I don't really have expertise in yet. So the guys in the bike shop were amazing. We just brought it in, and then they spent about 2.5 hours or so on the bike, and they pulled all the grease out and put different type of grease into the hub and the bottom bracket, which is the bit between the pedals and where there are lots of bearings. So they took it all out and put new stuff in, used different lubricants for the whole bike. And this bike is like totally been designed for me. So just a little bit of history about that bike. So it was back in 2013, I had this idea of cycling across Antarctica. I thought, what kind of bike would be amazing? And I found this idea of an all-wheel drive system that was, it was only made for normal mountain bikes that don't have big fat tires. But I thought, gee, that would be amazing if you could get that system into a fat bike. And this is just stopping a little bit. This is Bob coming in now, who's my guide. So if he's moving around, that's fine. You probably won't hear it much, but that's what it is, and that's all cool. I'm in his house. So I got this idea of putting this system into a fat bike, because then you can have the big fat tyres, which give you a wider surface area to go over the snow, and then plus if you can have the front wheel to drive as well as the back wheel, and the system's very strong, then that would give me a bit of an advantage, because when the back wheel slips, the front wheel can grab, and vice versa. And I found this fellow in Philadelphia who had made this system, and he agreed to make his system into a fat bike, which had never been done before. So we made one, and I trialled it up in Spitsbergen, like I said in my last talk, and that needed to be improved a bit, because the tyres could only hold 10 centimetre wide tyres. So that was the bike was good, but the tyres weren't wide enough. So then he had to redesign everything, which he did for my second bike, to have a wider tyre that's 4.8 inches, so it's 12 centimetres wide, almost as wide as possible. And that bike was actually really, really good, but there's a couple more improvements, and one was that we could have a bike that could actually accept the widest tyre possible. This gives you an idea, if I can show you. That is a rolled up version of the widest tyre possible. It's the contact patch on it is 13 centimetres wide, so it's huge. And so to do that, I had to change the whole frame. I can't really show you. I don't know if I can move this around a little bit to show you. I'll try, and if you get seasick, I'll just take this to show the bike. It's like my baby at the moment. I'm very proud of it. I'm watching, so. Right. Not great. Here we go.
Kate, will the bike be coming home with you to Australia when you've completed this?
Anyway, it's probably wasting my time a little bit right now. We're going to take some videos and stuff, but that's the rear wheel. Then it goes to so there's the rear wheel. All right, so you can see that's got the it's a funny gear on the back that sort of drives a shaft that runs through this rod that goes all the way across and then up to the head tube, and then crosses over and then comes down to the front. This on the other side. Anyway, I think I'll give up on that one, but it's worth a try.
Well, it's great to see the actual bike, Kate, after all that. We saw the video on your website. It's great to see the real bike. Great to see it arrive there.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. So today down at the bike shop, we made it all up. The thing was that bike is very close with the fork at the back, and I was a little bit nervous that the big fat tyre wouldn't fit, but it does, which is good. And the other thing that we're trialling, we've set it up a bit today. It's only really very much a trial, but Steve Christini, the maker of the bike, sent up a little short ski that he's cut to go on the front wheel. So I can actually show you that. A bit crude at the moment, but I'll show you like that. So you can see it's got the shaft here that attaches to the front fork, and essentially it's got a slit there. You can see it's been cut for the wheel. We had to make it the hole bigger today, and essentially that'll fit. Picture like a paddle steamer, where the wheel fits in there. So when I sink in this deep snow, the theory is that when it sinks to after about that much, it gets really, really hard work. So if we can have a bit of extra flotation, it might help me when it's really tough. It might not, it might fail, but this is the time to really trial it, because in Antarctica sometimes we'll get really soft stuff, and if we can get any grip at all and a little bit more flotation, that could make a difference as to how much I have to push and how much I have to cycle. So this is the time to try everything. I've also got all sorts of clothes raring to go, all sorts of different combinations and layers of clothes. And I'm learning a lot from Bob here too, the guide. So he's had 40 years of experience out here in these kind of temperatures. So some of it's trial and error because some things work for some people and not others. And I guess the difference with riding a bike is that you're working really, really hard. So it's just about as hard as it gets. So you've got to have layers of clothing that wick away the perspiration from the skin, because if you start to perspire, any moisture freezes and then you get very, very cold. So it's a matter of trialing different layers. So you have base layers, and they can be made of wool, or they can be made of synthetic fibres that are very breathable. And then you go to the mid layers, and all this traps warm air inside the body, towards the body, and keeps the cold air out. And then and then you have outside layers as well. So hopefully the moisture will wick itself away and then get to the surface and freeze, and then you can just dust it off like it's a bit of powder or something. So that's the idea, and now we're just going to trial all these different things, and maybe slowly we can go through all the different types of equipment. But yeah, no, there's lots of specialist things, but maybe I'm quite excited because we're here, the bike's here. I just gave a little ride. I had to go down to a shop, so I just rode it about 4 or 5 kilometres and down to the shop, and I had to get some clothing adjusted and something added to a sort of fur ruff added to the hood of some of my clothes. So I just managed to go down there. I've tested the bike. It's all good. So now maybe we can have some questions, because the next couple of days we're just here and testing a few more things out, and there's lots of details and things we have to do, and we have to finish cooking up all the food, for example. And after all that, then we have to we're going to head off, and the plan is that Bob the guide and myself are going to drive up to the town of Dawson. You'll have to get your maps out of the state of Yukon in Canada. And so Whitehorse is in the south of Yukon, and then we go 700 kilometres up to Dawson, which is actually in the middle. And then pretty much from there, I'm going to take this road that goes all the way up to the Arctic, near the Arctic Ocean. And that's about 700 kilometres up there. So we're going to go a good portion of that road up to a place called McPherson. And then I'll be joined by my cameraman and another guide. Her name's Teresa. And then they'll be on snowmobiles, and I'll be riding my bike. And then we go off. So that's the plan. Now we can have some questions. Maybe you've got some kids who would like to think about what it's about, and I can see.
Okay, if you've got a question, pop your hand up, and we'll go around the rooms, around the schools. So who's got a question? Consolidated, Merino Consolidated School. If you'd like to unmute, and if the teacher could choose somebody to ask a question, please.
Will there be a guide following you?
Yes, there will. Yeah, because I don't know this part of the world, and so the guide, this fellow Bob, whose house he's very kindly let me stay in his house for now, and he's going to be very, very good, because he's been up and he knows this part of the world. See, no one's ever cycled where I'm about to cycle up past. Once we go up off the road, there's no one's ever cycled there before. So it's going to be very amazing to be able to travel through this landscape. And Bob's been through there on a snowmobile before, and I'll be relying on him quite a lot to make sure that we know where we're going and that we stay safe. It's always really important to have a good plan. Yeah.
Okay.
Else?
Thanks, Kate.
That's a good question.
Okay. Somebody else, let's see, Bridgewater Primary School. If you'd like to unmute and ask your question, please.
How do you stay warm when you're outside?
How do I stay warm? Yeah, because my poor old body, you can imagine, it was 30 degrees when I left Melbourne, and I got here and it was minus 15, so that's 45 degrees difference in temperature. So it'll take me a little while to acclimatise. So as I said, to stay warm, you have to have lots and lots of different layers of clothing. And so in the mornings, it'll be quite cold, so I have to be quite rugged up. So I'll have a big jacket, a down jacket over the top of sort of layers of clothing. And I've got to choose the kind of clothing that I can move well in to cycle. So, there's a lot of thought and a lot of theories that we have to test out. But as I said, you have layers of clothing. Okay, so that, and then as I get a little bit hotter, I can take one of those layers off. And the idea is to try not to perspire, otherwise that freezes. And I guess probably that some of the hardest things to keep warm are your hands and your feet and your head. So I have some boots. I can show you the boots. I bought them. These boots, right, are incredible. They're absolutely, they're made for it. They're actually cycling boots. They've got cleats on the bottom, but they're good for down to minus 31 degrees Celsius. And inside, if I can pull it out, we've got even a liner inside, so you can nearly pull it out. There we go. So there's actually a liner inside as well, which, yeah, so that, I've got two of those, so that fits inside, and that's made of wool, so that keeps me even warmer. But still I have to have more socks, different layers of socks, and then I also have some chemical warmers, so the little patches that I've got, that when you expose them to the air, they actually create some warmth. So that's another thing, because when you're cycling, you push a little bit of blood out of the ball of your foot every time you push the pedal. So when it's very cold, it's very hard to keep your feet warm. And the hands, they also very hard to keep warm, because your hands are out on the handlebars, and then obviously they're exposed. So you've got to have liner mitts, and then 2 or 3 different layers. And I've got another special thing to show you. These are called pogies, or handlebar mitts, and they fit over the handlebars, and it forms a bit like a pouch. And so that keeps you very, very warm. So they're very good. So when I'm cycling along, I've got these on. And the other good thing is they've got pockets, and I can put lots of food in there as well, so I can keep eating all the time. Yeah, so they're called pogies, or handlebar mitts. So they keep me warm. And then on the head, I've got a neoprene mask that'll fit over my face. And when it's very cold, you don't want any skin to be exposed, or else you can get some frost nip or even frostbite. So I've got big goggles that cover my eyes, hats for my head. I can wear a helmet while I'm on the road, but probably off the road, because the helmet causes a bit of perspiration. I'll have to take it off, but I'll have extra layers to protect me. But if I fall, I'm not going to hit a car or anything. And if I fall, I'm going to fall in the snow, and I'll probably fall over quite a lot. So, so the head, yeah, and then you've got things for the neck, arms. I'll be all protected. That answer your question? Hopefully, most of it.
I don't know about you guys. I'm feeling cold just thinking about that.
Yeah, well, I tell you, I've got these. I'm very lucky because I've been given, some different sponsors have given me some amazingly high-tech clothing. So I went for that little ride today, and it's minus 15, and it didn't feel that bad at all. I mean, my body's not that cold yet, because I came out of a warm environment. But just a little bit above my head where it was a bit exposed, I hadn't covered it properly, and that was very cold. But then everything else with these clothes on was just awesome. So hopefully that'll stay. It's when it gets to minus 30 that it gets very difficult. It's quite different. I've had that once before, not here, and it's pretty cold.
Very cold.
That's fantastic. Right. Good on you, Kate. I know that we have a few comments that have been posted on the blog, and Kate's been very, very, very busy. hasn't had a chance to get to reply to those, but she will once she gets a chance.
I will, definitely. I had some good questions from, yeah, absolutely. I had some great questions there, some that I wrote out as well, which were, I presume that they've got those. But keep asking them, and I'll have a go at that. It's been hard because I've been on the road for over a day, and it was crazy before I left. I couldn't answer them all, but I will do. So keep them coming.
Great. Do Hawkesdale have a question? Is there somebody there that would like to ask a question?
Up here to the camera. And we need to unmute.
What made you want to cycle through the snow?
What made me want to cycle through the snow? Well, I guess it started with a dream of cycling across Antarctica, and then I guess I got this idea actually when I was in the Australian desert, believe it or not, and I was cycling through the sand in the desert, and that's also pretty hard work. But then I thought, and this was just with a normal mountain bike, and then we had this, the idea of cycling across Antarctica at the time was pretty much an impossible dream. But then because then there was this sort of invention of the fat bikes, the big fat tires like I've got there. And then I heard about people cycling in the snow using those bikes, and also the sand, the same as I'd done through Australia. And then, I was always intrigued about Antarctica. So then I kind of thought, okay, this might be possible. So then I started looking into it and trying to work out what kind of bike would do the job. And that's the bike that I'm trialing here. That's going to do the job. And the one I used in Greenland will be good too. So obviously, to cycle in the snow, it's not like cycling as you know it. So you've got to change your mindset. You can't just like cruise along the street, and you can't do any freewheeling. If you've ever cycled in sand at home, you'll know it's pretty hard because you have to work very hard just to stay upright. Because if you slip a little bit, you can fall over and you skid. And so my aim was to try and find a system and a bike that would make it possible. Because I love to explore and I love to understand how the world fits together, and so to ride through the snow is is an incredible challenge, and it's actually beautiful out there. So it might be hard work, but it's an incredible place, and something I hadn't done before. So it's kind of a means to what I want to do, where I want to go. So if I want to cycle across Antarctica, or in this case cycle through Arctic Yukon, then it's a real privilege to be able to do that, and you're going to hopefully see some of the things and share as I share my journey with you. So maybe you'll want to cycle through the snow one day. Maybe not. I don't know. But it's worth. It's great to be able to test these things and try it out. Even like this ski, I'm not sure. I'm a little skeptical of how good it's going to be, but we'll try it. The fellow who's made the bike, it was kind of his idea of how to make it, and he's a very great engineer. So, it's not. I'm sure it won't be perfect yet, but we have time to develop it. So I like the idea of being innovative and trying new things, and that's how the best things come out in the end. Some things don't always work, but if you don't try them, you won't know. So that's the same with exploring as well. So it's a great thing to be able to do. I'm pretty lucky, but I've had to work quite hard to get here as well. Yeah, that's about
great.
That's what I can do. Yeah.
Great, thanks very much, Kate. I think there's a lot in that answer, and certainly we're really looking forward to following your journey on this in this incredible environment, and seeing how you face up with all the challenges that'll no doubt come along your way, and how you'll deal with those as you're moving along. So thank you very much for coming. Can I have all of the schools give a big cheer for Kate, and a big cheer to wish her well, of course.
Go, Kate!
Yeah.
Thanks very much for coming along, Hawkesdale, Merino, and the other school, which has just dropped out for a minute. Really appreciate you coming along and listening to Kate's story, and we're looking forward to following, as I said, Kate, the rest of this trip and finding out more as you go along on your travels. So thank you again for sharing some time with us. It's been wonderful.
It was a pleasure. It's amazing to do this, to be on the other side of the world and to be able to talk and share this. I'm actually talking to some Canadian school students tomorrow as well. So it'll be, good fun talking to them as well. So all good.
Absolutely. Real privilege for us. So thanks again.
Pleasure. Thanks, Alistair.